Quarantine Chronicle.
Well, I tipped my
Learning
lady real good,
stuff.
so I'm one of the ones that she's doing at her house. She can't charge.
Order, I am going to take an attendance. Annette Buchanan.
Present.
Todd Ganger.
Here.
Chad Fleener. Chad, unmute.
Here.
Jason Day.
Here.
Mary Beth Dillinger.
Here.
Mitch Meredith.
Here.
David Hammonds. Unmute. Philip McLean.
Present.
Okay, after a moment of silence, I'd like for Jason Day to please lead us in the pledge of the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. Glad to see everybody. I guess first thing we need to do is talk about the, well, Jennifer, I need a cheat sheet. What?
You need to add the signs to.
Yes. I need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we add the graduating class signs to the agenda.
Okay.
I second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Hammond?
He's still muted.
He's still muted. Mr. Hammond?
Say yes.
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 There you go.
Ms. Dellinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fleener?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Buchanan?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Ganger?
Aye.
Mr. Meredith?
Yes.
Mr. Irvin?
Aye. Jennifer, I need a agenda. What else is?
It's
what
on
we
your
got?
screen.
On the screen.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Review of the consideration of the bid for Daniel Boone High School roof. Mr. Patrick, you wanna
Yes.
tell us what's going on?
Well, looking at the documents that, Ms. Jennifer has loaded there, we have a recommendation from, Jerry Sarton, our architect of Beach and Luscombe Street, Thomas and Litton, to award the bid to Bernard Roofing at a price of $243,972, with a unit price of $12.75 a square foot, to replace, decking that may need to be replaced. This of course only includes the gymnasium at Daniel Boone.
Mr.
It would be my
Chairman,
recommendation to go ahead and to award the bid to Bernard Roofing.
I move that we award the bid to Bernard Roofing based on the recommendation from the architect.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Hold on, Chad, Jason.
Do we have a time frame on this one? Ask him.
Do we have a time frame on this one, Mr. Patrick?
If I don't have all the bid documents in front of me. Let me take a look here and I can see if I can find that. If you have some more questions, I'll.
Okay. Mr. Fleener?
I just wanted to know what the completion date was if they did do it, so Jason beat.
He's, Mr. Ganger.
Who's doing the Jonesboro Elementary roof right now? Did we ever find
That
that
would be
out?
Bernard Roofing also.
Okay. Do we know anything about, I'm trying to get to the bids. Do we know anything about, I can barely read it, Radco Roofing? I think it'd be the second option, second lowest bid.
I do not know anything about them, and our architect has never had them on a job before either. The only ones we have had dealings with in the past are, of course, Bernard Roofing, Morristown Roofing, and Dixie Roofing.
Is that, well,
Yeah, go ahead.
is that, do they bond those jobs, Mr. Patrick?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, they do.
I'd be interested in this thing.
Yeah, everybody's required to bond this job. And I think some may have concerns about the time it took for Bernard Roofing to complete Jonesboro Elementary. And share your concerns, but after talking to Todd Bernard, we had the third wettest March in history, and we're working on the third wettest April in history. So, and he does have more than one job. So, he was trying to balance as best he could on Jonesboro. He is probably 90% complete. He's putting the coping on as we speak. He's worked, every day he can, and very satisfied with the work he's doing.
How much more is, I can't see it, how much more is that other company cost?
You can't really read it. It's either-
4,000.
Or I can get a rate up on there,
Well-
larger.
Probably closer to 3,500. The big difference, if I may speak up, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
is the removal and replacement of the, the decking board underneath it. Bernard is $1,275 a square foot for anything over 1,280 square feet, and Radco is $75 a square foot for anything over 1,280. And they're the highest on the extra work.
I guess we don't have a clue how much of that is or is.
Till they tear into it, you have no idea.
Have we worked with any of these before? Have they worked?
Yeah, we've worked with Bernard and Say Dixon.
Todd, Todd, go ahead.
Are we is this time sensitive, or do we have time to find out some info on the Radco? Or, and I'll be honest, I mean, I'm not happy with how long it's taken that Bernard roofing, and I know it's been a wet winter, spring, but I'm guessing they've been on that job site for 7 months. And I've been by there and not seen people working, and I understand he has other jobs, but I've also seen him out there working with 5 men and leaving at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I'd like to find out some more about that Radco roofing, since they're second to lowest bid, and I don't know if we got time we can do that, or if that's even allowed.
How do we,
Mr. Day?
how do we go, and I think I asked this question on something else long time ago. How do we go back after this is an open bid if we don't choose them? If we don't choose the lowest bid, do we have the option?
We have the option to
Pick anybody we
pick
want.
who we
to?
want.
Okay. So do we have the option to renegotiate with Radco Roofing?
No, we don't have the option to renegotiate. We have the option to take them, whatever their price is. But we can't renegotiate, because the bids have done went out, yeah.
That's a law.
You can rebid it, but you can't renegotiate.
We can do away with all the bids and rebid the whole thing again. But we probably don't need to do that.
Wonder if Mr. Patrick found anything on the time limit?
I haven't found it yet. It's in the download is 93 documents, so 93 pages, because it included every bid submittal, and I'm sure there's a completion date somewhere in all of that.
Is that 1,280 feet, is that a standard number they use? Is that what we said, 1,280 feet?
That's what.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Can you translate
Say it
that?
again.
Is the 1,280 feet they're speaking of, is that just where did that number come from? Is that a standard number they use?
That number came from inspection of the roof by the architects, and they figured there was at least that much, so that is already included in the bid, 1,280 square feet. Okay, so now if they find more after that, then the unit price is $12.75 per square foot from Bernard, and you'll see the rest of the prices listed.
You know, if those are 4x8 sheets, Mr. Chairman, at $75 a square foot, one 4x8 sheet's gonna cost you $2,400 to remove it. That's with Radco. If it's with Bernard, it's gonna cost you $408 to remove it.
And I see the money issue there, but the fact is, when is it gonna be done? Are we gonna be a year into getting it done? That's my concern.
Chad, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion, we postpone this till the meeting on the 7th. It's our next board meeting, it's just next week, and we can get these dates in hand to make that decision.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'd like to hear what, I'm gonna be honest about it. If you're a contractor and you've got more than one job, I can understand why the other one is taking so long, because he's trying to do more than what he was planning on. So I don't really have a problem with.
We're not paying him for all the other ones, we're just paying him for
I
one.
know, but we're paying him so much, and when he gets it done, and he didn't have no specification on when it was
Well, that's
done.
why we need to do, we need to have special.
So, you
We need
know,
to, we need to give them a reasonable allotted amount of time, and
we
that's not
didn't on this
uncommon.
contract.
Well, we need to do that.
We don't know. He's
can't
trying
find
to
it.
look for it.
Well, I have a motion and a second to hold off on the, till the 7th. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Hammond? Hang on, unmute him.
Yes.
Ms. Dellinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fleener?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Buchanan?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Ganger?
Aye.
Mr. Meredith?
Yes.
Mr. Irvin?
No. Okay. Mr. Patrick, do you have anything else?
No?
Okay. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Mr. Flannery'd like to add something.
Mr. Day, in response to your question, apparently under Tennessee law, you can negotiate with a bidder if they are the only bidder. So if you've got two people bidding, you can't talk.
Okay.
I didn't know that until I was there.
Yeah.
Anything else about the building? Roof? Okay, number 3 on the, is payroll issues. And I guess Mr. Hale.
No,
It's actually, Dr.
under board policy, a board member called and requested that this item be put on the agenda. And it was in due time, and you approved it as part of the executive committee, that's why it's on the agenda. And at this point, I'll turn that over to that board member.
Okay, I was the one,
I didn't know I approved that, so,
You did.
okay.
I was the one that asked to have this, put on the agenda. And it came to my attention that, the motion that was made at a previous meeting, the way it was stated, eliminated some of our employees from getting paid during this time. And, so at this time, I want to ask that, I want to make a motion that we pay those employees, which were 120-day contract employees, 6, 7, 7.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them that are still under contract. Right?
Okay, which would be 7 employees to back pay them for their wages lost that we didn't pay them, and pay them forward like we have every employee in the system, and not eliminate or exclude them. So that's my motion.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a question. Are these?
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. All right, Mary Beth.
Are these retired employees that work part-time?
Let's see here. Every one of them, yes.
They're retired employees and they get their full retirement, Tennessee Consolidated Retirement Benefits, and possibly Social Security, correct?
I don't
Are they
know about
doing
Social Security.
online instruction during this time?
Yes, ma'am. Not all of them. What they're doing is turning in time sheets, and they're being paid for the time served, that's all. They don't get a salary per se.
Do we have any full-time people working at Asbury?
The principal and maybe one instructor. There's a counselor there that works full-time, and that may be it.
Yeah, I think Jerry Whitaker told me, Bob, there's one or two that's based out of Asbury, but they're not necessarily part of the educational program. They do system-wide work.
Yeah,
So I don't.
well, yeah, like Rose Thomas is based out there, but she's all over the school system doing the same thing.
So these employees work 3 days a week for 6 hours a day.
I'm not aware of their schedule.
That's what we found out at our, correct? Our meeting?
Oh, I don't know, I was just gonna make a statement if I
Okay.
may, when that gets done, she got her hand up first.
Go ahead.
Annette?
So I just want to be clear, they are still working and we're still paying them.
Yeah, wrong time sheet, they're not salary, they turn in time sheets. And they get paid hourly.
So I don't understand how they're missing money.
So if they're getting paid, what's the problem?
They're not getting paid.
They.
If they're getting paid for what they work,
They are getting paid, and there was never any loss of pay. I didn't hear anything in that motion at that last meeting that said they shouldn't be.
So they're working and they're getting paid.
You know, I actually called over there, and they are assisting with the online school.
Okay.
So we are asking our part-time retired people to do the online instruction.
For the alternative, so these people can complete their coursework to be able to graduate on time. I understand that, but that's my question, Mr. Granger, is they're already being paid, so I'm not sure, I don't understand.
As my understanding, they weren't being paid.
Jason was next.
Well, I was just, we need to, I guess we need to clarify. I was just gonna say, if they're not being paid, and we expect them to come back to work when school starts, we need to pay them. Was my thought process, but.
My question to our finance director, do we have any employees who are not getting paid their full salary as a result of COVID-19?
Okay, so in relation to, I believe what's been brought up here with the 120-day contracts, the certified and the 120-day contract, they're not being automatically paid, but if they're working, they're still turning in a timesheet and they're getting paid for the hours they work.
So if they're not turning in a timesheet, they're not getting paid?
That's correct. They're not automatically.
They were scheduled, just like
Substitutes.
substitutes.
Yeah.
They were scheduled to work certain days to the end of the year,
They ought
and
to
they're not being
like
paid.
substitutes. They
Exactly.
didn't- I mean, yeah, they didn't turn, I mean, does the substitute turn in a timesheet?
They won't.
But even if they're not working, if they're not
get paid on
subbing,
that. They get paid on that. Well, you, as the board,
We
voted
voted
to do that last.
No,
Yeah,
I understand
I mean,
that.
normally they wouldn't, but you, as the board, last meeting, made a motion.
correct.
To pay any substitutes that were already scheduled,
Right.
already on the schedule to work, to pay those.
So I don't know how that's any different than
Which
somebody
might
signing
have been a
120
week
day
or two.
contract.
I'm sorry.
It's because
I have a question.
there's a reason, but
Aren't 75% of our substitutes still certificated or non-retirees, which could mean people that don't have a degree? This really is apples and oranges, right?
Right.
This might be the people who are making $70.
Well, most of those are, I mean, when you look at the substitutes as a whole, 95+% of those would not be retired teachers.
So
on a
only
120-day
5%?
contract. I mean, that's a number off the top of my head. I'm thinking we've got 19 or 20 system-wide that sub, that are retired Washington County teachers. There's a different, this what's been called in the question is the term classified and certified. So the motion said classified.
Mr. Flannery's got something to say.
Yeah, and Chad had a question on the screen too.
Okay, I'll get him in a second.
Mr. Gray texted and just went away to say that there were three, bring it back, he's apparently watching on YouTube. He wanted you to know that there are 3 full-time certified teachers and 1 school counselor at Asbury and 4 120-day contracted teachers at Asbury. That's his.
Chad, you got something?
Yes, I'd like to ask Dr. Flannery, I thought this was perfectly clear last meeting when we said we were paying anybody that was in the system, we were going to pay. How did these people, and is there anybody else that is slipping through the cracks when we promised them X and we're not giving them what we promised them? I thought that's what last month we decided to do. I didn't realize that somebody's being left out.
I concur entirely. To my mind, there's only 2 kinds of employees, certified and classified, and when the board voted to pay everybody, that took in everybody. And I was not informed that any class of employees should be left out of that at all. And my instructions within the next 48 hours to finance was to pay everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Mary Beth?
Does classified mean full-time?
Not necessarily.
Classified means.
It can also
anyone
take in
without a
at-will,
teacher's
well, in fact, all classified people are at-will employees.
Well, do we have any other part-time people working besides their, retired substitutes in general, whether they're.
SHCC will have part-time employees.
So everybody's getting paid?
Yeah, school-age childcare is not getting paid because we don't have school-age childcare. That's.
Is that the Is that the problem?
But we are paying them,
Now, the supervisor is getting paid.
well, we're still paying the part-time staff based on the average hours they worked previously.
Okay.
Because they're classified staff, and that's what you as a board stated in your motion was classified staff. Those are not 120-day contracted employees. These are part-time Washington County Department of Education employees. They don't have teacher's license, so therefore they're classified staff, and that's what your motion said.
If they had teacher's license, would they be certified?
They would be certified staff, yes.
So what do you do with part-time people who aren't certified? What do you call them if they're not
They're
classified?
They are classified. Anybody without a teaching license is a classified staff. I'm a classified staff.
Okay.
Because I don't have a teacher's license.
And the
But of course, it didn't affect me because I'm salaried.
Dr. Planner, do they know to turn in their timesheets? Do they know that's part of that?
I made that clear.
You made that clear. So I'm still confused.
Can I ask a question? Has anybody come to you, Dr. Planner, and said they're not getting paid?
No,
So nobody's complaining about getting paid? And Brad, I mean, you know, everybody, you know.
You're paying them when they turn in
You're
their
paying everybody?
Yeah,
Well-
the instruction with this group was that they would be paid for whatever hours their supervisor says they worked.
And they understand that.
And that's where the problem is because somebody's not gonna say, you know, if normally they're there 40 hours a week and they only work, and because of COVID-19, they're only there 15, they're not gonna say they work 40 hours, because that's fraud, all right? But yet, we're paying people who are sitting at home and not working, correct?
yes.
Sure.
Then we need to tell them, and you need to make it clear on the timesheet, that the timesheet needs to delineate between work time and call it COVID-19 time. That they should be getting their full pay.
The days they were scheduled to work,
Correct.
they should fill out a timesheet like they were there.
Right.
That's what I was getting at earlier. We're gonna expect them to come back to work when this is over, so
But I
we can't
think-
treat them unfairly.
Right, but I think the message that they're hearing is they're only getting paid for the hours they work.
Yeah,
Instead of everything they were scheduled.
right.
We can go back and pay them for their scheduled time too, there'll be some back pay.
So is that the motion?
That was my motion to go to back pay them.
Well, how much
Sure.
would that be? Does anybody?
I'm just talking about a handful of people, maybe.
It's money that's already been budgeted.
Yeah. Like some of them, like one of them's Kathy Humphries, well, she's not gonna get any, because she had nothing to do once they closed, that was the
I mean,
assistant principal at Pleasant Creek, that y'all brought in.
Well, she surely doesn't expect to be paid when
No,
she.
no.
Okay, I was
I think
gonna
she went to
say.
Florida.
I mean, if we paid substitutes that were scheduled to substitute and aren't substituting, then we ought to be paying these people too. So-
Absolutely.
Chad, you got something?
I just want to be perfectly clear, and maybe I'm missing something, but we are paying everybody that we were supposed to pay. I mean, no ifs, ands, buts about it, we are paying exactly what everybody signed up in August that we told them we was going to. I mean, I don't care to vote on this, but I feel like, I thought last month we had done this, but however we need to make it, I want to make it crystal clear that we pay the people that were promised to be paid, and let's move on.
I think we can do that.
I have one more
Is that-
question. So
Is that true?
Not yet.
Well,
Through our motion, it will be.
we're paying those 120-day people according to our interpretation of the board's action last time. If this motion passes, it will change our interpretation, and we'll just back pay them.
So no's the answer to your question.
Mary Beth?
So these people have been doing online instruction. I just don't think that's right. I don't think that's treating our part-time people fairly. I think we need, instead of having more of the part-time people at this particular school, I think we'd be better off hiring more full-time people and let these people be supplemental, kind of like what we'd have a substitute, not have them on a schedule, because that's asking them too much. I don't think this is being fair to our retired part-time people.
Be expensive.
Well, I think I've been crunching some numbers and I might have a solution for us. After this, we can go ahead and vote on this, but I've got something that I'd like to bring up to think about, because to be more equitable is what I've been wanting. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on this to pay and back pay everybody that needs to be paid. So, roll call vote, please.
We need to probably make sure we have the language.
Certified and classified, everybody,
For their normal hours.
for their normal
The
hours.
normal amount of time that they would have normally worked.
Question, but it might be the way back. I don't know that something Mr. Meredith said, so if this passes on the timesheet for this group of employees we're talking about, is the interpretation of the board to say, if some of them work, with the virtual school, let's say they work 10 hours with the virtual school 1 week, on their timesheet, we want to say 10 hours virtual school, and then whatever the remaining hours is they would have normally worked, we'll call that COVID hours. Is that what?
Yeah, I mean, however you want to do that, just to kind of keep somebody from getting in trouble.
Right, well, and my thought, because if some of them's working some, we don't want to double pay, but we want to, I think what the board's saying is you're wanting to pay them, if they're working, pay them the regular pay, but if there's 15 hours they didn't work, because of COVID, we're going to just say 15 hours COVID, 10 hours.
Right,
virtual
you
school.
code it that way, and if we ever get reimbursed from FEMA, then you've got that number.
Okay.
To the end of the school year.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. Day,
Yes.
Ms. Dellinger,
Yes.
Mr. Fleener,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ganger,
Aye.
Mr. Hammond,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Meredith,
Yes.
Mr. Irvin.
Aye.
That's something
Oh,
else too.
well-
It goes along with this.
Well, can we wait till we get into budget on that?
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
that is a budget issue, isn't it?
Sure, yes, it is.
Yes.
I just want to
Ganger.
make a statement if I can make it right
Okay.
quick. I'd just like to apologize to all those that were affected by this, because I know some have been trying to get unemployment and everything else, and I know what a hassle that is probably for some of these people. And I'll say, majority of the board, I think, was not aware this was happening, and I personally apologize for that, and hope it didn't bring any more added grief to a stressful situation that was going on anyway.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, FYI 21 budget. I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Flannery and Mr. Hale.
Well, I think it would be best if you just went ahead and went started with, as we planned, with the revenue estimates and take it from there. This is, you're comfortable, folks, this is gonna take.
Does anybody need a break?
And
2-minute break?
Brad's gonna pull it up for those of you that are here. He's gonna put it on the big screen so it'll be easier for you all to see. And I'm still gonna do BOE so those at home can follow.
You wanna do with graduation, thing at the very end.
Yeah, if that's all right with you.
Okay, well, I'll get on into this and just kind of open up on a high-level overview of what we have here. So in a moment, we'll get into something I call a budget change list. And then we also have documents with the detailed line by line of budget examples with what we have-to expenses and with all requests as well, and I'm sure we'll meet somewhere in the middle. We do have the dietary budget plan in here. We're going to bring the federal budget probably through Finance Committee with the language that the county has used the last 2 years, which basically says that the federal budget is whatever the Tennessee Department of Education says it is in a nutshell, but we'll bring that through Finance Committee and on through full board next week with what grants we have so far where we know the allocation. Before I get into these budget documents, I'm going to pull up the BEP because we did get the first estimate on the BEP. And there's a component of that I need to point out something before we even get started. So this is our BEP allocation we got for the month of April. This is the number we're using right now, $37,026,000. $37,026,000 is the BEP estimate for April. That will change. We'll get another estimate for May, June, and July, with July being the final estimate. It shouldn't change drastically, but nonetheless, it will change.
To the good or to the bad?
In the past, it's been to the bad, but we'll see how it goes this year. We haven't lost enrollment this year, so that's certainly a positive thing. You'll notice here, the number is 8381 is the BEP formula, but this is the student count BEP formula is based off of. This is what I want to show you here. The line that I've got highlighted here, notice that says required instructional salary budget increase. Instructional salary means certified staff, teachers, anyone with a teaching license. That number is $336,000. So what that means is, and the reason, without getting into the details, it has to do with this line that says weighted average salary for FY19, because we're not through FY20 yet, is $46,343. Now that is for the purpose of BEP formula calculations. The statewide average salary for the purpose of BEP calculation is higher at $47,134. That doesn't mean that's a state minimum, that just means for the purpose of this formula. Notice we're lower, that's what funnels into this number. So you as a board are required to at least minimum put $336,000 in additional certified staff pay. Notice I'm not saying classified staff. You can do that if you choose, but the law will be certified staff has to get that $336,000 added to the overall system pay scale. Now I'll tell you what that translates into in just a minute. I think you had a question, Mitch.
Yeah, I had noticed this before, but so that required instructional budget increase is looking from FY19, which was the last fully completed year, forward to FY21. What if you fix that within FY20?
It's always a year behind. This is a state that does this, not us. So we're obligated to do what this.
So next year when we're doing this, we could be 336 over.
It would just say zero if we are, and say we're not required to put any new BEP funds into the budgeted salary.
Okay.
That's correct. So I'll tell you what that translates into, but I wanted to just state that off top before we get into the budget documents.
Chad, you got a question?
Yeah, what, I can't, for some reason, I can't follow along on the board, but we're on number 2, right? The 2020-4-27.
I don't think the BEP got uploaded, Chad, but let me real quickly do that, because that wasn't one of the...
I'm sorry, I just can't see it.
That's
so
okay. That's okay. Give me just a few seconds here.
Yes, no, camera.
I'm going to make sure I'm to the right spot, and I'll load this to where you can see it.
Okay, thank you.
Wish we could put all that, what's on there, on here.
Hey, Brad, while you're doing that, so we're getting what, another $1.4 million in BP this year?
Correct.
That sound right?
Yeah, okay.
He's now putting it in.
That is correct. That should be just not another minute or less. We'll have that on there.
Okay. For some reason, I can't follow the leader or raise my hand, either one on here, but
Those documents weren't in there.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, and it's really because this is not a PDF. Normally, I don't like to load anything that's not a PDF. And it's still loading. Once that's completed, you should be able to see it. Usually it's immediate, so might be. There we are. Once I hit save, then it'll be in there for it to be viewed. So you should be able to pull that up for them, Jennifer.
That's the BEP.
Yes.
There it comes.
And you'll go to the first page of the BEP.
Do I have to do anything to get that to show up?
Just follow Jennifer, follow the leader, and
Hey, it won't let, there we go.
So where that's looking at, I'm looking at your view too, Chad. The bottom part of that page that you're looking at, and you can zoom into that some. But that is where it says required instructional salary budget increase, 336,000.
Good.
So because of the formula, the way the BEP is formulated, that's the minimum pay increase you're required to put in certified staff salaries for this budget. And I'll get to the other items that tells you what that actually means in dollar amount here in just a moment as far as raise percentages go. Okay. So,
there's something else up there that he doesn't see, or?
yeah, I was thinking there's one other document that I might just throw on there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. This budget narrative analysis. This is just simply something I've done. So yeah, I'm going to upload one other document, Chad, that I'll talk about in just a moment so that you can see it. So in a nutshell, while I'm doing this, I'll tell you so there's a required step increase that we all are aware of. That required step increase, when you look at just the certified staff, does take care of majority of that 336, but not quite all of it. The remaining amount that it doesn't take care of translates into about 0.25% raise. So for certified staff, it's going to be step increase plus 0.25%, which is going to be the minimum. And I'm looking for.
What's that 0.25% in dollar terms?
In dollar terms, okay. If you do 0.25% for all staff, that's about $120,000. 0.25% for certified staff only is about $90,000.
Okay.
So the reason for the difference is just where the average salary for the certified staff is.
So the step covers 240,000 of that 330, and then the 0.25% covers the other.
Well, not with just gross salary, because that 336 is not fixed cost. Then 336 is gross salary only. So roughly, when you're looking at just gross salary, it covers all but about 60,000 roughly. Okay, almost there. So what this one is called is budget narrative analysis, and this is just a document I make up. That's already saved. I'm going to save that. So you'll have this, because basically this will show you, this will be good to go to next actually, Jennifer, is the budget narrative analysis that I just uploaded. And I'll pull it up for our screen here so that you can see what they're seeing. So basically, this is the high-level overview of our projected revenue, and this will include the full revenue and full expense. Now this is off of the have-to items without any of the additional requests. You can see the expense projection on this line, the revenue projection, and we'll get into the details in just a minute. But what I needed to do was separate this out. What is 0.25%? And basically that's where the 0.25% roughly equals 120,000. For all employees, for certified staff, it equals about 90,000. That's just where the calculation came in. So you can see every 1% raise, the increase here, which roughly it's if you round up, it's about $500,000 for the system, for everybody in the system to get a 1% raise. And this just goes out with the format of 1%, 2%, 3, 4, and then 2% certified only. There was a request to do that. But this was all before COVID-19, of course, because we were going to get additional funding. We were told from the state even more than the BEP that we got, but with COVID, it kind of changed things. So keep this in mind as we go over the other items now. We'll get into that in a moment, but projected, what's the net result if we pull $1,785,622? That's the budgeted amount from fund balance we did in FY20. We're not tracking for that to happen. However, we don't know exactly what's going to happen in May and June yet with sales tax. We do know we're going to take a hit. The question's not if, it's just how much. So we've been tracking very good so far.
Busy as Lowe's has been, I don't see how.
Yeah. But what happens with sales tax is it's 2 months behind. So the March effect on sales tax we won't get till we get May's numbers. April's effect on sales tax, we won't know that till June. We don't know if it's going to be a $200,000 hit or a $500,000 hit or $100,000. We just don't know yet. And myself and the county finance director, Mr. Meredith, have talked multiple times about it. We just don't have a previous situation to benchmark this out of. It is kind of uncharted territory in knowing what the effects are going to be of this. So with that, let's jump on in to some other documents here. So with the document, I think it's document number 2, Jennifer, but it's the one that says, that will say the budget change list, document 1, excuse me. So we can blow this up to see. So notice this same format here. The top part of this, and this is variances from FY20 to the FY21 budget. And I've got must-have items, meaning this top section is going to happen regardless of what, even if you don't give me budget dollars, we're still going to incur these expenses. There's nothing we can do about most of these, and I'll go through these real quickly. So step increase only, system-wide, and the retirement component of that, you can see adds up to about $443,000. That happens regardless, because the step increase applies to every employee. Let me just go down the list here. The difference here in these is 1%, 2%, 3%, 4% raise. And over here, you'll see the line items that they're in. Obviously, some of these are in multiple line items. So we have been notified to expect a 5% health insurance increase this year. We have not been given the details as far as which plans, because when this happened a couple of years ago, we had some plan, it wasn't evenly distributed. It wasn't that it was a 5% increase for all plans. Some had a 15% increase, some had a 2% increase, but all we've been given so far is to overall figure a 5%. That's where that $377,000 comes in. That's an estimated 5% impact for this. Electric, water, sewer, natural gas, those are smaller dollar amounts. We're just putting in 3% there, just as an unknown. But that's really only about $100,000 for the overall budget. University schools, our revenue goes up. University schools' share will go up. Our percent dollar amount goes up. I'm not saying we couldn't drop this to 200, but if I stick with the percentages that's been the trend, I'm figuring that's going to be about a $265,000 increase that they will get. Not much playroom there, but if we stick to the trend, that's where it is. The substitute management system, that's by contract, $23,768. This next item is from substitute pay that was increased about a year ago. Had school have finished out the year like normal, we were going to run about $140,000 negative in that substitute all the lines. So that's something that next year we will incur. Now, the system insurance that was bid out, we've had Tennessee Risk Management for years. With what we were charged last year versus what we're going to be charged the next year with the new company, that's about a $443,000 cost savings, at least with what I'm getting from Mr. Sizemore, who's the broker that handled this, and that's information straight from him. Yes, sir.
Okay, quick question. Is that $140,000, does that have anything to do with those raises we increased on
it was where
the
main thing was where the substitutes went to $70 per day for certified and non-certified, up from 55 to and 60. That's the main component of that.
So it's not that we're using more substitutes?
Correct.
We're just,
Same amount of substitutes, it's just a higher pay.
so
skill
do we
amount.
know that when we made that, did we have that information when we made that motion?
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, what percentage are retired teachers?
I want to say the sub-list is around 160 on that list. That doesn't mean that 160 is used, and about 19 or 20 last I looked were
So it's
actual
not that
retired
many, right.
substitutes. You know, and they're the ones that get $100
Right.
a day. Yeah.
So there's really not,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, thank you.
So we get to this component, step raise only, and we know we at least have to go 0.25%. So we need to know we at least have to go 25% between this number and this number, just to be as far as the certified staff. So that is the layout on the top. The difference is, again, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4% certified staff. And over to the side here, you'll see this is a system expense, but you'll see the director that may have requested this. And of course, the contracted janitorial services is contract, those do not go up. We increased trustee commission last year in the budget. We should be still right on target for next year. It seems we're going to be a little better than budget this year, so we should be right on target next year, so no need for increase. We are not calculating the need to increase diesel, fuel, and gas for next year, especially with some of the buses going to propane. So in talking with our transportation director, so normally we have increases there, but not this year.
Chad, go ahead.
Did the one?
Won't some of our diesel costs come down though, Brad, since we're going to propane?
It could, but it's a guess right now, as far as nothing that I had any hard data on, unless I just pulled a number out of the air, really. So,
But I thought our gas, our propane was so much cheaper than diesel that it would maybe be a wash, I guess is what I was counting on instead of 28,000.
there's no increase for diesel fuel. Which line are you looking at? I'm sorry, Chad.
No, I was just looking at the new propane buses.
Oh, okay. So that is where we're going to use a lot more propane. So just talking with the transportation supervisor, and we just had a formula we use, but you're correct. It could be that that'll be offset by diesel fuel. We just don't have the hard data. It would be a guess right now.
Okay.
But you make a point there. I see what you're saying.
So we're saying now that our propane buses are costing us more, or just fuel's costing us more?
That's just the propane expense by itself compared to the propane we buy this year.
Yeah.
We don't buy a lot of propane.
Right.
But we're going to buy more next year because we're going to have some buses running on
Right.
propane. So we're saying that component alone. To
But
Chad's point, will that be offset by diesel fuel savings? And it may.
Yeah.
We just don't have any hard data.
But we also figured it on diesel fuel, or diesel expense as well, repairs and all that, right?
Sure.
Okay, I was just checking.
But Chad, that certainly could happen. We just don't have any data to say that it will, but it certainly could. When you get down into the bottom part, and this will be where we'll need the board's guidance, certainly, every one of these items are requests. They are color-coded with level of importance the director has put down. And I'll mention this first one. Let me blow that up a little on my screen. The textbooks. That is what has been determined as we think the most pressing need by the director. And I want to explain a couple of components of this. You've already got some funds in the budget from last year, from this year. So we calculate $737,106 as additional expense needed for the system books, which Dr. Flannery can tell us what that is if you have any detailed questions. But on the finance side of that, we had some unbudgeted revenue come into us this year. So the E-rate settlement we got, which was nearly $300,000, $297 and some change. And because we did not decline in enrollment this year, we've actually increased some. We're getting $222,000 of additional BEP growth funds. So you add those two together, you're at $519,000 in revenue that we have received this year that we didn't have budgeted. So if you apply that to the textbooks, you've covered the majority of that expense with all but about $200,000
18.
And $18,000 of that textbook expense is covered. Now, how that would look on the budget is we would up our fund balance, budgeted fund balance, by this amount, knowing that this one-time expense or the one-time revenue we got will cover a majority of this one-time expense. So you're not supporting recurring revenue with one-time revenue coming in.
So this is the ELA series that we need for K through 8, or does it? 12.
That's for every English student in Washington County School.
Okay, and this has not been purchased for 6 years or more?
Right, we're in the 6th year of the current adoption, so it's time to get new stuff if that is the board's decision.
Do we know what series has been adopted?
They're going with the Pearson product, which is most closely aligned with the assessments.
Pearson?
This has been thoroughly vetted by multiple teams of our own professional educators and all of our supervisors. Well, one of them, which is on the screen right now, is satisfied that that's the best product coming.
Annette?
Are the high school teachers asking for these? Because they're using Chromebooks a lot and using a lot of online stuff. So they are.
Dr.
She
Keys,
said
would you like
yes.
to weigh in?
She said yes.
You're muted. You're muted.
You're muted.
I can unmute it.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, the high school teachers are begging for these books. But not only do they come with the text, they come with the resources that are aligned to standards. Teachers spend hours upon hours creating materials for class, and this would save them hours of planning. They would have all of these resources that are aligned to current standards, and they could use them. In the high school world, we have not had textbooks in ELA in at least 15 years.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
so are
You're overdue.
these textbooks online or are they?
I have requested hardback books with the digital resource, so students would have them digitally on a dashboard on their Chromebooks, and then we would have hard copies of just classroom sets in classrooms, just in case they, need to look out of the paper book, or the electricity goes down, or, you just need those
So
classroom.
you're not ordering for the entire K-8, you're just ordering classroom sets for each classroom, is that right?
I'm speaking for 9-12.
Yes.
And you're ordering a digital edition for every student, and then hardback books for classroom sets.
Is there another charge next year for the digital?
No, it is, I think, a 6-year license.
But the digital product does get automatic upgrades.
Right.
Okay.
But we don't have to pay for those, that comes with the adoption.
Well, this is not a should have, this is a must, in my opinion.
Amen.
This, yeah, okay.
So
Sorry.
K through 8, are they getting digital too?
I really don't know. I know a lot of it is, but I can't tell you what percentage.
Yes.
Carla's on there.
What, hello?
Yes, they will have digital as well.
Okay, is that needed for like kindergarten, first and second, third? Are those?
Yes, it is part of the program.
It's
The
part of the
teachers will
program.
have the books, but they'll also have other resources, and they'll have this opportunity to have what they call Benchmark Universe, which is a wonderful component that complements the resources that go along with the program. And it's included. There's not an additional charge.
Oh,
It's
okay.
included.
So the textbook and the digital is one price?
You are correct.
Okay, I guess that's what I was getting at.
Mr. McLean?
Mr. Chairman, I guess my question is for the director. I'm trying to remember back when we first found out we had E-rate rebate coming. And I'm trying to remember, did I hear you say something then that you had a plan for that money for us not to earmark it? Does this fall in line with your plan?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Dillinger?
Well, could some of this that they're talking about be used for the online instruction that's going on now?
Yes.
That's
Without
what I'm
question,
saying,
yes.
yeah.
It
This
is,
would have been
very
nice.
adaptable to that.
Yeah, this would have been nice.
We do have that going on currently in
Okay,
the K-8 world with the ELA.
okay, good.
Mr. Flanner?
Dr. Flannery, a couple months ago, when you got together with the other directors of other systems, you all talked about maybe going in together when you all adopted, books and be able to buy them at a larger bunch and get cheaper. Are we going in with anybody on this, or has that been history since we're going through all this virus stuff?
Let me tell you where that fell apart. That works real well with the superintendents in the room, and then we put the curriculum supervisors in the room, and it fell apart. Because those people do not, okay, I gotta be real careful about what I say, because two of them are online with me.
They don't agree?
They felt that the needs of individual school systems outweighed the need for a collaboration among the area school systems. That's as charitable as I can be.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Hale.
Okay, and I guess before I go any farther, just in a nutshell, pull up the second document, Jennifer, which is the full budget. And so as we make changes and you decide,
Must have.
yes, the one that says must have, as you make changes and decide what you'll keep and not, this, where I've got this set at, and this is of course what you had online, this is all the revenues. You go to the bottom of page 2, this is where I've got the revenues. Now this includes $1,785,622 budgeted to come out of fund balance. If you do the textbooks, we're going to up that to maybe around the let's just say 2.5, 2.6, we'll put it in, and then add the expense down here under the textbooks, which is here, to wash that out. So here's what we'll be watching as we go forward. We know we got to do at least 0.25% raise for certified, so it'll be somewhere in between these two numbers. But as we, this is basically, this line's going to show you the deficit that we're running. Now notice that's a positive number there. So as it is now, which doesn't meet the requirements, we got 106,000 to the positive. It'll just be absorbed into anything else we add. So that will change these numbers here as we don't have any new revenue that's not already in here. The only option we have is to up our budgeted fund balance this year. And again, this is a one-time thing. We're facing COVID and these expenses that are one-time, like these books. I feel that we'll be okay to up our fund balance pool for this 1 year, just realizing next year, if we up this fund balance pool to 2.5 or 2.8 million before the night's over, 1 year only is all I'd be comfortable doing that. And next year, we're about to get it more back in line, just knowing that. I just wanted to say that before we go back.
That 1.7 number would have to be another 120,000 on top of that to get 0.25% raise to everybody.
If you did nothing else, then yes.
Nothing else.
If you did absolutely nothing else, that means no textbooks, no nothing, then you're correct. It would have.
But the textbooks is 500 plus for the textbooks, so
well,
that would
737, but about 519,000 of that is going to go into our fund balance this year that we wasn't planning on. So you carry that. So that's why you can up that fund balance pool 519 and wash. But it's more than 519, so there's another 200 we'll have to do that. So let's just say we up that to 2.5 million just based off the textbooks. We know that's the justification is we got over 500,000 in revenue that came in this year that we didn't budget for. That was just new revenue.
Chad, you had something?
Yeah, I mean, Brad, I want to make clear the 737, 106 with the textbooks, but how come we're just saying it was 219,000, but on this graph on number 2, it's actually, we'll have to add the whole 737 on to the 1785, correct?
Yes, so the part of that is the 297 and the 222 was new revenue for this year that we did not have budgeted. I hate to say it was free money. It's not free money, but it was unbudgeted revenue. So it's going to up our fund balance at the end of the year by 519,000 more than it would have had we not have got it. So I'm just saying, if you consider that,
Right.
you've got 519,000 that's coming you didn't know you had, so there's only an additional 219 to cover that.
Okay, so are we gonna, and I guess it's Mr. Chairman, are we gonna go through line by line and make a motion if you wanna include it? And then approve it at the end? How you wanna handle this?
Well, we've been told that bring a balanced budget this year. And I'm looking at using more of our fund balance and not ask for money. I guess I'm just opening it up to the rest of the board, whatever they feel like we need to do.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion based on what you just said, that we include the English textbooks into our budget for next year, $737,106.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
That's number one on the priority list as I read this, okay?
Mr. Chairman, I think we need to do this, but I think what this board needs to understand, and I think our finance director can help us with that, is what is our projected fund balance as of the end of June 30, 2020? Because that's going to give us the number that we've got to deal with. That number's $3 million. It makes a heck of a lot difference what I'm going to decide than if it's $8 million.
But that's hard for anybody to
Yeah.
tell you right now because we
No,
don't know
no, it's not.
how low this sales tax is gonna
No,
go.
it's not that hard.
It's a moving number, we all know that.
Well, it moved, but it's not that hard to get in the ballpark.
So what I would say is if we wasn't facing COVID with what we're tracking this year, right now, and I want y'all to say if we wasn't facing COVID, is what I'm prefacing this with, I would be pretty comfortable telling you I think we're tracking to add possibly another $1 million to the fund balance to end up with $9 million, but I'm not saying that right now because we're facing COVID.
Right, okay, and so.
we don't know, as me and you talk, what the sales tax is gonna be.
Right,
here
but
for May
we've,
and June.
we've already put $13.5 million in the bank in sales tax. Okay, our budget was 15.6. So even if we don't collect any sales tax in May and June, that's $2.5 million.
That's correct.
So you pull that off your number, take that off your $8 million, that means you got 5.5 to work with.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna put,
5.8.
we'll have $1 million at least for sales tax.
Well, yeah, it's safe to say we're not gonna get anything, I mean, it's not gonna be zero.
So I
That's-
think we're
that's
probably
good to go
somewhere
off.
between $6 and $8 million
Yeah.
where our
Good to
fund
go
balance
off.
is gonna
Yeah,
be.
Yeah.
so worst case scenario, if we got zero, which we know is not realistic, we would have a $5.8 million fund balance.
Correct.
So, you know, based off our conversations, it could be, you know, this is nothing in writing, but some of the other finance directors have said the state, they had even looked at a 20% estimate that they were gonna be down, but there's nothing in writing that I've been shown in that, and I don't think Mitch has seen anything in writing on that either. So if it was 20%.
You're talking about next year now.
Well, for May and June.
Okay, well
But
then-
we know May's not gonna be hit as bad because a big part of the month was still normal before things went down. But let's just say if we use that as a benchmark, 20% of 1.2 million is 240,000. Let's say June's that, but May's half of that loss. So, you know, we could be looking at a $300,000 shortfall, 300 to 400. But this is all guess, because there's not a benchmark to base it off of.
About a month ago.
Chad?
I'm sorry.
Chad, you got
No,
something?
I just, he answered it, thank you.
Mary Beth?
About a month ago, I know Matthew Hill had something listed in the paper where, but it was gonna be a split between us and Johnson City, and we were to get $1,300,000 for something.
That's the CARES Act money.
And what will that be allocated for? Will that be earmarked for?
That's a long story. But the short answer is I don't know yet.
Okay.
The,
So that's something you can't depend on, just something that's out
we'll
there.
have 3 years to spend it, spread over 3 years, that's not a whole lot of money.
No.
And the Nashville will give us pretty much a menu of what we can spend it on, and
I thought so.
you won't
Okay.
be able to
All right,
balance
never
the
mind.
budget. But I'm hoping maybe we can put a little of it toward these textbooks, to kind of ease that burden.
Yeah.
But, there's some things I can guarantee, we'll have to put money toward helping special education students. We will probably have to put money in technology, and, you can look for us to put some money into the nutrition program because of what we have seen these last
Right.
few weeks.
Okay. Thank you.
I was gonna put that in my Friday update, but.
Okay, well, I mean, I had just remembered seeing that and wondered what it was, specifications would be attached to it, so, okay.
Brad, that number
Okay.
is gonna grow for the textbooks and a 0.25% raise to every employee. What is that number?
While he's looking that up, let me give you a figure.
All right.
Entry level for us is about 37,000 for a certified teacher. 0.25% raise for the year is $92.50.
I understand that, I know.
That would be in addition to the step,
How much extra would it be to do a 1% for everyone?
close to $500,000. Real close. Instead of 120,000 for everybody, it'd be up around close to $500,000.
How much?
Well, 1% of 37,000 would be $370. It'd be
I'd like to see
four times the 92.50.
Okay, so $500,000 to give everybody $100 and some dollars,
No, it'd be more than that.
$370.
$370. $500,000 to give everybody $370.
But this goes to everybody.
Now, if you do $370, it won't be 1%.
1% of an entry level teacher.
Right, but I mean, you're talking 370, if you give everybody 370, it would be
No,
totally 1%,
no,
but
you
it'd
give
be
everybody,
fine.
no, you give everybody 1%.
I'd like to still try to shoot
I-
for that.
I suggested, and I can't remember what the reasoning was, but I suggested we do a Christmas bonus.
Right now, you've got a motion on the floor for the books.
You've got a
Well,
motion.
okay,
Well,
all right.
why,
I
are
have
we
a-
taking everything one by one then, and just say, hey, we're gonna add this, we're gonna add that? Or can't we just do it all?
Well,
I
that's
mean,
kinda what I wanted to do. I
we need to
wanted to
see
add
what's
the
out
books,
there.
add the 1% or 0.25%.
We always get in a hurry to do this and that, and we need to see what we got first, and let's, we'll go from there.
Mr. McLean, will you,
No, let's vote on it. Let's vote on the books. Then we can gather everything else up.
Yes.
You're not gonna have enough money to do very much on the rest of the list.
well, I understand that. That's what I know.
This is the number one priority as the director has presented it to us. That's why I singled it out.
Okay,
and
I
made the
have a
motion.
motion and a second on the purchasing the books. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Ms. Dillinger?
Yes.
Mr. Fleener?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ganger?
Aye.
Mr. Hammond?
Yes.
Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Mr. Meredith?
Yes.
Ms. Buchanan?
Yes.
Mr. Irvin?
Aye. Okay, the books is in the budget.
Looks made it, so where we are right now.
Yeah.
Let me offer an observation, kind of get back to Mr. Ganger and Mr. McLean's approach here. I'd like for us to just discuss what we're gonna pay our employees first. Our most important assets are employees, and what we're doing here is going through and adding up a bunch of numbers, and then whatever's left is what we're gonna give to the employees.
I agree.
I'd rather see us do it the other way around, y'all.
Now might be an appropriate time to put that document in.
Mitch,
Yours?
Sir?
let me ask you a question. I'm just throwing this out there. But, I'm 100% for paying teachers wonderful. I wanna make every bit as money as John C. teachers make, or whoever other systems. I'm a little what bothers me is, you know, spending $500,000, and let's just use that entry-level teacher as an example. To spend $500,000 to give somebody $370, when I can take $500,000 and put it into electricity, to cosmetology, to auto mechanics, to all these other things that we've not done anything with. But if you hit them with 20,000 apiece, they're really getting somewhere. Whereas if you're giving 600 people $300, we're not. That's just not. I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I'm asking for some help. But I want y'all to think about that and how to do that. But I'd much rather put $500,000 in 10 pockets or 20 pockets than put $300 or $400 in 100's pocket.
And I agree with you. One lump sum to something like that would help. But then again, with what Mr. Meredith suggested, the 300 or 400 goes, for certified teachers, goes towards their retirement. And that even helps them when they retire to get on a higher scale. Am I right, Dr. Flannery?
Well, I don't think that, I mean, and here's my thing, they're not quitting tomorrow, but maybe just 1 year, we sink a few $100,000 into CTE programs, and next year we go back on the raises. I mean, we don't have to give a raise every single year, but we do, but this would help these kids and our program and I mean, overall, it'd really help if we could put $250,000 in CTE programs and, you know, do something like that this year. That's.
Well, we need to
But I
keep
thought
up with
that
the cost
money
of
that
living.
he sent up here was for teachers' raises.
You have-
Certified teacher raises.
Based on what he's told us, you have to do a minimum of 1/4% for all the certified teachers, right, Brad?
That's required.
That's required. Yes.
Well, what I was commenting on is what Mitch was talking about, just in general. I'm just talking about in general. I'm not talking about what we have to do. I'm talking about on top of that. I just want us to be thinking about that when we start talking about raises and everything.
Just an observation.
Yeah.
Board members, there's a document bill in Connecticut you can see right now that may inform your discussion. It's where we rank as the school system in the state with bachelor's degrees and master's degrees.
Are you gonna go to that, or do we need to?
It should be just pull the reader to be right in front of you.
Okay.
Bill, with this being an average, isn't this skewed just a little bit depending on the age of the staff? If you've got more teachers over 20 years and one system's got more teachers under 10, it's not going to be a real comparison, except it's an overall average.
You make a very good point.
I'd like to see this based on entry level, 10 years, maybe 20 years.
I can get you data on minimum and maximums with both degrees. I can get you a lot more data. I thought this was the mean salary would be the most instructive, but I can feed you additional numbers if you want to, and we'll do so. I think the point you can pull from this, in Washington County, it pays to get a graduate degree.
Chad?
I just wanted to make a comment too, while Jason made that comment. If you give a 1% raise to somebody making $10 an hour, that's $208 a year that you just increased that person. And we got some that aren't making $10 an hour. I just wanted to make that point.
And everyone remember, this is in addition to the step rate increase, so everybody will get the step increase, which is something.
It's about 1%.
A lot of times it equals 1% or
On
close
average.
to it, so you're talking about 1% in addition to the step increase.
How many
With whatever
people's-
you do, with whatever you do.
How many people has maxed to the step increase?
There's some, I mean, most have not. I mean, there's gonna be some employees that are at the 25th year and above, but it's,
Say there's
I mean, I'm not gonna put a number to it, I mean, but when we look at, we have a document, I mean, if I'm gonna put a percentage out there, I don't think it'd be higher than 20%, that's that, we can,
I'd say you're right in the ballpark.
yeah, that's kind of off the top of my head, my guess is maybe 20% of the staff is
All right, well, I'm gonna ask,
Like me, or-
I'm gonna ask this question. Put up here a 1% raise, how much it's gonna cost? A 0.5% raise, a 1%, a 1.5%, and a 2%. Put it up here.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to, Jennifer, the draft you have online's a PDF, so you won't be able to play with it like this. So right here is where we are. If we go to a $2.5 million budgeted fund balance pool, the textbooks are already in. I've already got that in, so that shows for everybody to get a 1% raise, we're at a $398,000 deficit here. So that would mean we would take the fund balance, budgeted fund balance to 2.9 million, and we're in balance for a 1%
And that's
raise.
for a 1% raise, I'm sorry.
Yes, that would be for everybody in the system getting a 1% raise. We would have to budget 2.9 million to be pulled from the fund balance. That of course includes the textbooks that we talked about. So we know there's about $500,000 in revenue that went into our fund balance this year. That's part of that 2.9 million. So
So a 2% raise would be
you're
800,000.
adding another $500,000 to that. So
Now, what,
So every 1% raise is about $500,000.
yeah, give or take a few $1,000s, you're talking close to $500,000 for everybody in the system to get a 1%.
now is that, somebody said a minute ago, I remember it's Keith, Mr. McLean, what did we just say that money, or you said, Keith, that money we have to give, what are you talking about?
The money we got
Increases.
from the state,
Cause that ain't got nothing to do with this, does it?
It more than meets that requirement if you do a 1% raise.
So it's,
You're required to give a 0.25% raise in addition to the step increase 2 certified staff, so teaching, anyone with a teaching license.
so what you're telling me is this ain't optional, we gotta do it.
Well, you don't have to do the 1%. You have to do at least a 0.25% for certified staff.
And a 1%'s $500,000.
Yeah.
So we gotta do a quarter no matter what.
You gotta do a 1/4 no matter what to certified staff.
The half goes to everybody. I mean, not the half, I'm sorry, the 1%,
That's correct.
if we decide to do that.
A quarter of a percent to just certified staff is how much?
90,000.
90,000.
Just certified staff.
So 4 times that, 1% certified staff.
You could, yeah,
Let's do
so
70.
360.
Or 360.
360 for certified only. You're not classified.
Right.
Yeah.
but to do everybody a 1/4%, it was gonna take it from 90 to 120
Right.
for a 1/4%. Chad, you had something?
I just want to make sure my numbers are right on here. Brad, with those textbooks being purchased, with the 106,000 that were on the positive side, so you take that off, we're at 2.4, correct?
I've absorbed it in over here already, so, yeah, I had that up a minute ago, Chad, so I believe you're right there. And then you add the 1% raise, we're now at 2.9, so you're right on target.
Okay.
Yeah, I would normally not be comfortable with a $2.9 million budgeted pull from fund balance. However, this is a different time we're in right now. We've got $500,000 of unbudgeted, revenue that came in. I would just want to say that if you do this, you'll want to next year get that 2.9 million back down to where it's a more sustainable level, and know that if the actual expenses really do come in to where we really do in actuality pull 2.9 million, next year's budget's got to be a lot different.
How
And
do
who
you
knows?
get it down?
80% of all of our expense in this budget is staffing.
No, man, how do you get the 2.9 down? What are your options?
Don't get it.
Well, then you've got to pull
Next year.
stuff off. Unless the county's gonna give us more money, which they're not this year, as we know.
No, you're talking about next year.
Oh,
No,
next
when we go
year.
to FY22, how do you bring it down?
So next year, it would depend on how much new revenue we get next year. How much new BEP revenue we get, how much sales tax will we Could we budget next year?
How many more kids we can gain?
If we gain or lose students, will determine the BEP, so there's many moving factors, and then analyze where's that falling, and if it's still out of bounds, we've got to cut expenses one way or another next year.
So does this knock us out of giving any money to the CET program?
Yeah, this is without doing anything else. Right now, you got $1,872, so, out of 73 million left. So if there's still an item or two, or several items that you as a board vote to include, this 2.9 million has to go higher. So that certainly is your decision.
Well, I think we got.
Or you pull the 1% down.
That is correct.
Do we do a 0.5%?
So if you did 0.5%.
Half to CTE and half to.
If you do 0.5% raise, then this backs up about $250,000. So you're now at, if you do a 0.5% raise, you've got $250,000 for other items in the budget if you choose to do that.
I'd like to see us put at least 250 in that.
I'd like to hear where, Mr. Dave's kinda getting at. I mean, I wanna see us expand our CTE program, but I'm looking at our, optional budget items in here. I don't see anything in here that's $250,000 of CTE money. So where?
That's what I'm asking.
I mean,
we don't have it in there.
I mean, we've got a CTE incentive to teachers, and that's $35,000.
Yeah, I speak on that.
But what, I mean, where are we doing anything really, that moves the needle on CTE?
There's an increase in supplies and equipment, but it there's,
Chad, you got something?
Yeah, I pulled up this, I guess number 5, which are all, operating expenditures. I mean, the AED pads for the school clinics, attendance travel, the CT equipment. I mean, all that stuff looks like we're gonna have to do. Is that not correct? Dr. Planner?
I could say something like that. I'm not even sure why that's in.
Well, that's what, $30,000, Chad?
That's $34,600 to do this minimum that's on here, which is just minimum. Is that not have 2 items, Brad, Dr. Planner?
I'm sorry.
He's asking us, yeah.
Well, no, but the AED pads, without those, defibrillators become useless. So I'm not even sure why that's on this document. We're going to buy.
And the copiers is the same way, correct? I mean,
They've
gotta
got to
have
have
copiers.
copiers.
So what that means is this is allocations that the schools get yearly to cover copier expense. They're already getting an allocation. This is just adding to the existing allocation if you choose to do it. So they'll still always get what they've got. This is just, if you add this 15,000, then that's going to put a little more money in the pot for each school to help out with their copier expense. Because all schools will have monthly lease amounts where they lease copiers.
Have we got that any closer to bringing it in line with one company, one?
Yeah, what all's been doing is migrating toward the state contract as they've had renewals, because nobody so far has been able to beat the state contract. So we probably have about 8 or 9 schools that are with state contract now.
Okay, and Ned, you had something to say?
Does this AED pads, do they expire?
Yes.
They do? Okay. Because I was like, have we used that many that we're having to buy them?
No.
I was-
My knowledge, we've never used one.
Okay, but they expire and you cannot use them.
So where are we at on that? What are we doing?
So
Chad, go ahead.
I mean, Dr. Flannery, I mean, since these are small ticket items right there, but are things, especially the AED pads and the copier allocations, I mean, that's stuff we can't do without. So there's $20,000 if you just done the AEP pads and the copier allocation that we need to go ahead and do in the travel. So is that not correct?
Well,
I do the CTE 2 lines before I do the travel.
other than the AED pads, everything on there is optional. It's up to the board.
So how much do we have, Brad, that we can take out of our fund balance and
So,
be comfortable.
so at
Still need some money for emergencies.
2.9, you know, that's getting pretty close, cause that's getting pretty close. So if you backed it to a 0.5% raise, you got $250,000 to play with. It's up to the board though. You can tell me to go above 2.9.
But how far, I mean, I'm not saying we would, just how far above that, is it like 3.1 or?
I'm not
2?
I'm not comfortable going over 3.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
What did we do last year, 1.7 or?
1.7.
1.7?
If the number that takes you over 3 is one-time money, not recurring money, does that make a difference?
Well, I'm still considering that, but now it's your decision as a board. That's just me saying, even with that one-time money, about 3 million is.
We still have to be responsible. I mean, we
Yeah.
can't go crazy. I mean, because we do know what kind of situation we're in now. Could come back again.
Well, all
what
this
gets
stuff, though, if
me,
we put money in the CTE, that's one-time money. We ain't gotta do it next year. I don't think it's been done in years, has it?
No.
So, I mean, we can
Right.
put 250,000 in CTE this year and don't even think about it next year, you know?
I wanna say this, and I understand, I wanna give everybody a raise and everything, but it kinda, the way things is right now, what's gonna happen next year is the governor gonna come up with a 2 or 3% raise that we're gonna have to give everybody, and we go to the commission and they won't give us the extra money to give everybody the raise. Is that,
We'll cross that then.
you know,
That's all we do.
I don't like pulling saying 2.9 worth of fund balance money. I really don't.
I don't either. to be honest.
I know everybody needs money and I need money, but I just 1% at 2.9 and that's it. Mary Beth?
I have a question for, Mr. Day. If we wanted to allocate, I'd like to see, we've got our CTE person up there, I'd like to see more of a, itemized list as far as priorities.
Yeah, I think it needs to be.
Hello?
I think they need to, I mean, you can't just turn them loose with a blank checkbook.
Right,
Like
well,
when
I
we did
mean-
school tours, like for example, the auto mechanics was talking about, I think, brake machine, air conditioning machine, our
Yeah.
graphic arts are now, it's what? It's not graphic arts,
Digital.
but digital. You know, he's talking about needing computers and it was what, $16,000 or something.
Well, maybe
I
we
mean,
can see that next time.
Let me ask a question
if we
on
Yeah, I
that.
mean, if
The
I just
worst
think
that
we,
he's
if
doing
we vote to
for
put the
us,
money
do
in
we pay
place,
him
then we
back?
decide how we're gonna spend it or how
Yeah,
we're
I wanna
I don't want
see-
just wasting it,
Everything
but
that comes out of that shop has an invoice attached to it.
I think we just need to put it in place.
Somebody's paying for
Somebody-
it. He's got a lot of money.
I like to do a 0.5% raise and
That's what it costs to operate.
and just say 250,000
But
flat on
he's
it.
making money.
I think
He's
that's a
making
step
money,
in the
but
right
the
direction.
equipment
Before we
is so
fund
incredibly
expensive.
expensive that he's using that money to keep that equipment updated and repaired.
Could we, are there any money that we could match? He could say, you know, Chad wants to put, or not Chad, but Jason wants to put money into CTE. So if we're paying that, we're putting money in it. You see what I'm saying? So, Chad, go ahead.
Well, I think Jason's exactly right. I like the way he's thinking. Could Ms. Fink, could she pull something together, Dr. Flannery? I mean, could we, I don't say postpone this discussion, but see kind of how much we're talking if we give them 250,000, what they would do with that. And let's go through that list and make sure that it's going to be used, and let's see what certifications we'll build with that list. What's the realistic time frame to get that together?
Now would be a good time for Crystal Fink to unmute herself and weigh in on it.
Better, yeah,
There
we
she
can do it, we
is.
can unmute her anyway, can't we?
I can do it.
So
She's done it,
yeah.
as we say.
Can you hear me
now? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Spinks, the board would like to know what you do with $250,000.
Oh, I could definitely spend it. We're looking at new equipment, increasing our industry certifications. So, yeah, I can get you a list whenever you let me know.
I think we just do it and put
Doctor.
stipulations on.
Can you hear me?
spend.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, could you have that?
Could we,
Could you go by next week on
Hear what program you'd like to add.
Well, I think.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Flanders, Mr. McLean.
Mr. Chairman, what I'd like to know is, as I look at this sheet, it's got numbers down on the far right column. Is this a prioritized number that's come from the director?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so our director has given us a recommendation of the things that he most desires in this next budget. And I think we need to look at this and go down the list and say yes or no.
Mr. Fleener?
I just I was wanting to follow up on what Ms. Fink was talking about. Could she give us a list of what her needs are or wants, and what kind of industry certifications we would either be adding or what we'd be increasing to make sure every dollar is being used to, build up on what our CTE program's doing.
I think Crystal's having internet issues.
I can,
The talk and it was very.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
I
go
can.
ahead and talk. You there? We ain't got no internet.
You can hear me?
She's got bad internet.
Okay, I have actually I'm here, can you hear me?
Yeah, for
Turn
now.
off her camera. Save her some bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal, turn off.
Can you hear me now?
If you can turn
Okay.
off your camera, it'll save you some bandwidth.
What about now?
Turn your camera off and try it.
Okay.
You there?
Let me try to turn the camera off.
It's so slow. Can you at least hear me?
Yeah, go ahead and talk.
Yes?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes. Can you hear us?
She needs Brightridge internet.
There you go.
That's probably what she's got, the reason she can't hear it.
Okay, so every year I have the city departments to send.
Okay.
Every year I have the CTE departments to send in
Yeah, we can hear you.
a wish list.
Every year I have the CTE
Can you hear me?
department to send in a wish list of
I'm trying, and it's
requested items. And we
just be on speakerphone.
I always go over what, of course, we have money for in our Perkins budget. So as soon I can work on this list and give it to you earlier as you need, as far as equipment and then additional industry certifications.
Hang on a second. I thought it was this one. I'm sorry. I thought it was this one. This one's off.
Well, can she do that, and then when she brings that to us, then we can discuss how much we need, because
We've got to do something. Brad says it's got to be done.
A state statute requires us to submit at least a proposed budget by May 1st to the, and that's state statute, so we don't,
Okay, she worked
we have
that
to send
out
them
for us.
something,
If you don't, they come put the finance director in jail.
Yes, sir.
I think
You'll
we
be,
can hear
the
better
next
now.
meeting, I'll be in jail.
That's the county
Jeffrey.
finance director.
Well, is the internet service good at the jail?
I'll make a motion. Can we make a motion?
Yeah.
Are we prepared?
I'm-
I'll make a motion that we do a 0.5% raise and $250,000 flat to CTE.
So
Could
disregard
you-
all of these other things
For now.
for now.
He's done
Jason, does that, Jason,
0.5% raise.
Jason, does that 250,000, to spend that 250,000, does it have to come back to this board?
I think every bit of it would.
It may not be able to.
I mean, you need to say that, because if you put it in the budget,
Okay,
it's in the
let
budget.
me restate that then. So, I'll make a
Jason,
motion.
can you go 200,000
They couldn't hear us a minute.
and then the rest of the 50 do this in the yellow?
Okay. I think it's still being generous. I think.
Well, I mean,
And
I
then
just throw that out there.
We can relook at it all when Crystal comes back and.
Yeah, the only other thing I know Dr. Kite was really adamant about was that GMM program for 28,000. That's your all's decision, but it's already in the budget for Boone, and Crockett wanted to stay with IXL, but if you remember, GMM was 15,000 for just Boone. When we got involved in the negotiation, they dropped it to 8, so they're saying 28,000 for the 11 K8 schools.
And
That's
it is a
pretty
good
deal.
program.
That's for all of it.
That's for the whole system.
That is a good deal.
You know, Crockett wants to stay with that IXL, and the budget allows them to do that, but if you choose the 28, all K8 schools will have that program, and Dr. Kite told me that the teachers really wanted
Yeah,
that. They had
I
tried
like
it for
that.
years.
I've heard a lot of good things about it too.
But I'm not telling you what to do, I'm
Yeah,
just stating,
I-
that's what I've been told.
Well,
I
can
amend the
we-
motion to include that, but I also,
Never got a second.
I haven't got a second on Jason's, what he's
I'm
made a
saying,
motion
repeat
on.
his, please.
Okay, I got a second.
Jennifer needs him to
I
repeat.
need you to repeat it.
I made a motion that we move forward with a 0.5% raise and $250,000 to CTE. was the
250
original motion.
or 200.
200.
200,000 to CTE.
250,000 or?
200.
No, we're gonna do,
Why don't you get everybody to say it for you?
All on,
200,000 to CTE and the other 50,000 for the things in the yellow.
no,
let's 0.5% raise,
Okay.
200,000 for
Was that across-
CTE,
Across the board raise,
and the
Yes.
28,241 for the math program.
and the 200 has to come back to this board to spend.
And the 200 has to come back from this board for approval.
The 28 something for the math program.
I see.
yeah, he said that.
There we go.
It's in the-
And you said the AED pads, correct?
$250,000 is nowhere on this list.
Correct.
Why
He
we
just
even-
added.
I mean, why we even bother?
Alright.
I mean, we worked on this since January.
Should've asked me first.
It's just 200, it's not
I
250.
begged board, I'm gonna shut up.
That's what I said a minute ago, guys. The director has prioritized this list from us and the members of his staff. And we're just ignoring all of it except the number one item?
Mr. McLean, I'm not ignoring it, but they simply didn't put $250,000 for CTE, and I want it on there. And I think most of you all do too.
Well, this list that he has put together,
Don't have it on
it don't have the 250, but it has everything else that's 2.9 million out of balance, right? Or using fund balance to do it. True?
So,
there. Yeah, that's true.
so the only thing on the list right now that's in that 2.9 is the textbook.
Yes.
That's it.
That's all that's in there. Now, if you back it up to a 0.5% raise, you have 250,000 to play with.
Correct.
That's where I got the
So it's your all's decision what you do with the 250,000.
The list that you all put together, how out of balance is it? Or how much money do I have to use out of fund balance?
To do the whole list,
The whole list that he,
at which percent raise?
whatever, at no raise,
Okay,
no raise.
you need the other
You have to do
document.
the two, you have to do the.
Yeah, you have to give a quarter
Well, the
percent.
1/4%, whatever, that's,
Purple.
Okay, give me a
That one.
second.
Yeah, it's Brad.
So this extra document is the one I have with the full requested list on it. You will add $120,000 to this amount. So for full list, Keith, step increase only, you're $1,197,000 out of balance. Add $90,000 to that, to the minimum certified staff raise that you have to give in addition to that. If you add it to everybody, you add 120. So let's just say 1.2 million plus 90,000 is your minimum. That's out of balance that you are. Now that would mean you would have to take that 2,304,000 and add